We study whether a group of individuals can reach a consensus through simple local interactions in spite of asocial behavior. Each individual has a preference for one of the two alternatives, which we indicate here as blue and red. Upon interaction with a random neighbor, the individual updates its opinion. We compare two models. Through the voter model, the individual directly adopts the opinion of the neighbor. Instead, through the cross-inhibition model, the individual that receives a different opinion from a neighbor reverts to a state of indecision, an uncommitted state. The uncommitted individuals, here depicted in green, can then get recruited to either options through a social interaction with a committed individual. We consider two types of asocial behavior, noise and zealotry, which are mathematically very similar to each other, but quite different in terms of behavior. We refer to noise as the probability of an independent change of opinion, for example due to self-sourced information. Such change in opinion can occur in any individual. Instead, zealots are special individuals that ignore social information. They are stubborn and immovable from their opinion. We consider a population where there are two equally sized and strongly opinionated minorities of zealots. Our mathematical analysis predicted that through the voter model, the population would be unable to reach a consensus, with any number of zealots present, however small. Instead, the cross-inhibition is expected to grant a stable majority despite a large proportion of zealots within the group. We test our theory in a swarm of 100 kilobots, which are small-sized robots that move on a flat surface and exchange infrared messages with neighbors within a 10 cm range. We run a 60-minute experiment, where we include 20 zealots, 10 for each option, and the remaining 80 robots update their state every 30 seconds with the voter model. The swarm is unable to reach any consensus and remains in a state of permanent indecision for the entire hour. In contrast, when the robot updates their opinion through the cross-inhibition model, the swarm quickly converges to a stable consensus for one of the alternatives, in this case the red option. This consensus is maintained for the entire length of the experiment. The voter model dynamics are highly unstable. This is clearly shown by the experiment where the swarm was comprised of 96 cooperative robots and only 2 zealots for each option. The small minority of zealots is sufficient to prevent a stable consensus. The swarm occasionally reaches a large majority that is quickly overturned into an indecision state. This study shows an interesting property of the cross-inhibition model, which makes a population resilient to the presence of both self-willed and inflexible individuals, and able to reach a stable majority. These results contribute to explaining why inhibitory signals evolved in biological systems that needs group consensus despite operating in noisy contexts, such as social insect colonies and neuronal populations. Additionally, our findings are relevant to the design of minimal interaction patterns that allow social networks and decentralized robotic systems to reach an agreement despite the presence of noise or asocial behavior of some individuals, whether malicious or unintentional.